Today, I want to talk about different types of irrigation systems in the agriculture field. And instead of giving you standard categories, I want to show the exact irrigation systems that I have observed in the last 20 years of my career in the agriculture field. So this is the example of surface irrigation in lettuce field in Arizona, where water moves through the system of canal, dams, and furrow or basins. If you look at this picture, canal is the structure that moves water from source to field. Dam stores, diverts, and or controls water, and furrow guides water along the crop rows. Whereas basin holds water over a level plot so it can soak in. Lettuce field in Arizona are irrigated through a surface furrow irrigation where water moves through these furrows and irrigate the crop that is planted in between these furrows. So this is another example of furrow surface irrigation in rice in Arkansas, and definitely rice needs more water, so the water that's moving in the furrow are a lot more than what it requires in lettuce field. And those white pipes are the one that brings water from canal to the field. This is the example of basin surface irrigation. Basins are flat, level areas surrounded by black earth buns or ridges. Water is led into the basin and held there until it infiltrates into the soil. And it's a very common practice in rice, and this is the rice field from Nepal. And this is also known as flood irrigation. There is a unique kind of irrigation system in the US that is called seepage irrigation. This is also a kind of surface irrigation, and water moves through the gravity like it does in the basin irrigation, but it also looks like a furrow irrigation because you are watering these wide furrows, and these furrows are widely spaced, and there can be a multiple number of planting rows in between those furrows, and the idea here is to raise the water table by running large volume of water in these furrows. Water seep through the ground, water table rises so that plants can easily uptake the water, and some production places can run the whole canal like a furrow next to the field as shown in this picture. Let's talk about another irrigation system. It's called central pivot irrigation system that works like a giant rotating sprinkle arms that slowly moves in a circle around a central water point. How it works is water enters the pivot center through the source, and water moves through a pipeline and sprinkles apply the water. It costs around $1,000 to $2,000 per irrigated acre to install central pivot irrigation, and it can last up to 30 to 40 years if it maintained well. This is mobile drip irrigation, which is basically a combination of central pivot irrigation with drip irrigation principle. And it is basically a central pivot carrying many moving drip lines that makes central pivot more efficient. In contrast, this is inefficient version of central pivot irrigation, which is called traveling gun irrigation. It is a large sprinkle gun that sprays high volumes of water and slowly moves across the field. The advantage is that it's flexible, it's lower in cost as compared to central pivot, and easy for rectangular field. Versus it's not efficient because you lose water due to high evaporation and wind drift. Let's talk about irrigation. So there's a sprinkle head here. It's overhead irrigation. So it's not necessarily a regular irrigation practice. That's more for probably summer stress relief, when it's too much heat for the plants early in the beginning. But main method of irrigation is drip tape. So you see these drip tape, there are two drip tape in the bed. Could be one or two based on your soil type. And that's a common method of irrigating. Sometimes growers could have microset as well. This is the blueberry plant grown on soilless media, and you can see those microjets in between these plants that are around a couple of inches above the ground. And if you're growing blueberry in a pot, drip irrigation is a very common method of irrigation, in addition with the sprinkle head. Let's look at different modified versions of drip irrigation. This is lettuce production field in Arizona, and drip tape is on the surface. And this is grape field in Mexico, and as you see there, drip tapes are a few inches above the surface. In contrast, drip tapes here in the strawberry field are buried a few inches below the surface. That's a subsurface drip irrigation. And strawberry field, like blueberry field, also have a sprinkler irrigation head in addition to drip irrigation setting. Sprinkler heads are very common irrigation methods in golf courses, like you see here. And also they are used a lot inside the greenhouses, especially new transplants in the shade houses. And at the end, this is not a method of irrigation. This is just a heavy rainfall that caused flooding in South Florida in summer. So that's all about irrigation methods. I hope this has been helpful. Thanks.